Hi, it's me, Sorinne, and this is a special episode of Conversations of Sorinne. It's more of an update, and I wanted to start by thanking you for tuning in and subscribing. And I wanted to let you know just how much it means to me, all the positive feedback that I'm getting. And I'm glad that this work is making a positive impact in your life. And I wanted to let you know that it's really important for me to practice what I preach. And one of the things that I'm really big on is balance and living a balanced life. And as I've been doing these podcasts, I've realized this is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. And I love it, and it's really fulfilling, and I'm going to keep doing them. But I realize that I'm moving at a really fast pace given that I have a very full plate to begin with. I have other responsibilities in my life, and this is something that is, for lack of perhaps a better term, a passion project of mine. It's something I'm definitely called to do and something that is fulfilling and serves life. But it's not currently something that I can give as much energy as I have been trying to give it and that it needs. I realize that I've got a pretty long to-do list with my other work and things that are more time sensitive and more critical, and that I really want to get through those tasks, that work first, or at least figure out how to have better balance before I give so much energy to this podcast series. So I've decided that I'm going to slow down a bit and that I am going to release episodes a little less consistently. I still have about a dozen more scheduled conversations to record. I'm booked, through April. So there's a lot in the pipeline, but I'm not necessarily going to release them right away because there's a lot of work to do on the back end, especially editing, sharing on all the various platforms, making all the clips, writing all the content. And I do want to do this as best as I can. It's really important for me to help whoever tunes in to, get the most that they possibly can out of this. This isn't something that I'm doing for profit. As you know, this is completely voluntary. I'm not trying to monetize this in any shape or form. And so it's important for me to live in a sustainable way, including this project. And so I share this with you because it's important that you also look at your life and see if you're living a balanced life, if you're prioritizing things correctly or not, and as we take things off of our plate and put things on, balance is going to change. And so it's important to adapt. And so for me, this has been a really important lesson in, how am I prioritizing my life? Is, everything that I'm doing helping me to manifest like my overall image for my life, not just my image for the podcast? And so by doing that, I've recognized, there's some things that need to change. And so it hasn't been really easy for me to admit that because I've always wanted to please others. And I also have like this type A personality tendency I've mentioned before. And I've appreciated, feeling uncomfortable and being honest about where I am and sharing with others and recognizing, this is just part of the human experience. And so I hope that that's something that you recognize too in your life if you aren't living a balanced life, that it's important to be honest with ourselves and others. And, the most important person to love and care about is yourself, because no one else can do it for you. And, in the same vein, the only person that you really need to worry about disappointing is yourself. And so that's been really big for me to allow that to sink in and to apply that in my life. Like, hey, I need to be number one. My well-being, my peace of mind needs to be number one so I can be of greater service to life. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says about me, because people are always going to judge and spread misinformation or whatever. Like, that's just nothing you can do to control it. That's just a part of life. And so, You have to just be comfortable being your most authentic self, and the people that are genuine will understand. There's no need to rush. We're all here to do the same thing in different ways, and it'll get done, one way or another. Nature never rushes, so there's no need for us to do it either. And I definitely feel like I was rushing. And there are things that have been really, like, I don't know if the right word is nagging at me, but things that I've kind of put aside on the back burner and recognize, what, I really want to finish those things that I started working on, or I really need to give more energy to that. And so that's where I'm at. And I wanted to be candid with you and share that with you. And also, I wanted to remind you that I have been creating content and putting it online for people to access for free since 2016. There are probably close to 200 videos out there that I've made. Most of them are on YouTube. If you go to mindfulmondaymeals.com, it will forward you to my YouTube channel, and you can see like most of these videos. And then I have a bunch on Vimeo, and you can access them by going to destinedforsuccesssummit.com. All of these have been in the same vein. I've always wanted to be transparent about what's helped me to overcome the challenges that I have in my life and to get to where I am today. I've always wanted to share those tools with others who are also willing to do the work, that want to overcome challenges in their life, especially trauma. And so all of that content is accessible to you. And just like me, I recommend that you review this over and over and over again, because every time you do, you get something else out of it. And I also ask that you don't necessarily accept what you hear as truth, that you reason on it for yourself and you decide, like, does this resonate with me? Does this make sense to me? And try it out, for yourself if you feel like it does. And if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't make sense to you, just move on, because one size doesn't fit all. You've got to figure out what's right for you, what works for you. And a lot of what I share is principle, so you can turn it into techniques, or you can look at techniques that I might share and look at what's the principle behind it and come up with your own techniques. So that's really important, to not just take what I share and what my guests share as like the absolute only way to, be successful in your life. There's many different ways, but look for the principles, pay attention to that, and recognize that when you're reviewing something, you're, getting the deeper understanding of it. And you're not going to be the same person from day to day because you've had different experiences, you've had time to process. And so you're going to come back and you're going to listen with new ears and get more out of it, or something completely else. So I do that with books as well, and certain movies. When I really want to understand something, repetition is so big. And I know some of you don't like to take notes, but I'm a huge note taker because I love to go back and look at my notes. And also because when I'm writing notes, I process at a deeper level. So I always suggest to take notes when you want to understand something, and review, and go as slowly as possible. If you're watching something, rewind it, pause, reflect. You don't have to, let it play the whole time. Same with books, I'll often read just a paragraph at a time, and I want to make sure I understand it. So these are just little helpful suggestions, and there are a lot of amazing videos already for Conversations with Sorinne podcasts, and I have a few that are ready for editing, so hopefully they'll be up soon. And I will email you with updates, but perhaps not as consistently, because I really want to make sure my own house is in order. Integrity really matters to me. I aspire to live my talk, not just talk it. It's really important for me to be a reflection of what it is that I'm promoting, because I want to show people that it's possible, and I know it is. And so that's why I'm like, hey, this is what's going on with me now. So thank you again for your support. I really appreciate you, and I love you, and I look forward to just connecting and sharing more with you as the time goes by. Bye.